Hello and welcome. Today we're going to be making vegan cookies. Are they going to be the best vegan cookies ever made? As of yet, I don't know. And if this is the sole reason you clicked on this video, feel free to skip ahead to the end and find out before I do if I succeeded. Every time I cook, it's a bit of a freestyle, like I can't follow a recipe or write the word recipe to save my life. And there are two reasons for that. The first one is that I found out quite late in life that I have this condition called dyscalculia, which is basically dyslexia but for numbers. So whenever I read a recipe and they put 10 grams of this and 35 milliliters of that and 1 spoon of whatever, my brain gets all fuzzy and I get this overwhelming feeling of exhaustion that just makes me want to close the recipe book or the page or whatever I'm looking the recipe up on and just do whatever I want instead. The only recipes that I can actually follow are the one written in the American language, because in the US they use cups for everything and it's so much easier for me to follow a recipe where all the measuring units are the same. But then there's the second point, which is the fact that I am extremely lazy when it comes to cooking, and the idea of going to the shop and finding every single one of the ingredients is just unbearable to me. So I will just look into my cupboards and see how many of the ingredients I have and then just replace the ones that I have by, just whatever else. And then it just ends up being a completely different recipe. But today, because I am making this video, I decided to go to the shop and actually get all the things I needed. So you're welcome. Alright, let's get cooking. So first you're going to wash the hands, dry the hands, get a nice big spoon or two of vegan butter, slap it in a pan and melt it. Then you're going to mix it with some brown sugar in a bowl. The most unrefined, the nicer the taste. Then you're going to bang in some flour until you look at it and you think, yeah, that looks about right. So what are we going to use to replace the egg? Linseed, apple compote, human period? No. We're going to use nothing at all. Even before I became a vegan, I realized that in most baking recipes that tell you to use an egg, if you don't do it, you're basically fine. Nothing happens. And you don't get that creepy, sulfury, eggy taste in your cake. So it's a win-win situation. Okay, final step, the chocolate chips. Two options here. You can either use a knife and struggle to stab the chocolate bar to make tiny pieces. Or you can use my technique, which is to use what nature already gave you. You see, this is a machine literally designed to make big pieces of food into tiny ones. You see how efficient, how fast. And I know it's kind of gross, but no one has to know. I literally did this for years until the day I really embarrassed myself. You see, when I was a teenager, I used to live on a barge in the outskirts of Paris, and this was basically the layout. There was the front door, and then various rooms on one side, and then there was a hallway that would take you straight from the front door to the living room, where there was the kitchen that would just curl around. And that is where I stood. I was baking some cookies, and I had some music blasting from the living room, and I just finished putting all the ingredients together, and I was getting my chomping on. And then I find myself face to face with a man I had never seen before. And he was looking at me like, and I was looking at him like, And then he said, "Hi, I have an appointment with her. She told me to go straight in." So I was just like, "Oh, okay, well, that's my mom. So feel free to sit down, and I'm sure she'll be here shortly." So then I just put everything away really quickly, and I run to my bedroom to hide my shame. And I felt very, very embarrassed. Did this event teach me a lesson? Yes. If you're gonna be doing weird stuff, make sure you don't have the music too loud so you can still hear if somebody's coming, and you don't have to get caught with your metaphorical pants down. And that's it. Okay, so the cookies are done. I personally like to eat mine with a cup of oat milk, which I have here. So let's give them a try. Oh, they look really nice. Let's see. That's pretty good. I think I would give them a 7 or an 8 out of 10. They're actually really nice, much nicer than I expected. Because I was really stressed out like when I started the video, and I was just like being even more scrambly than I usually am. But they turned out pretty good. I think they're not too sweet. They have the right texture. Maybe a little bit too much chocolate, but I think I can deal with that. I'm really sorry if I grossed you out. I hope you leave this video with one piece of wisdom, which is to never ever trust anyone. They might be poisoning you with their saliva. Staying on the subject of things that are disgusting, even more disgusting than what I just did. Did you know that there is pus in the cow milk that you drink? The animals have been genetically selected over time to produce an unnatural amount of milk, and when they get drained, their udders regularly get infected. They get this condition called chronic mastitis, and therefore there is a certain amount of pus cell that is tolerated by the FDA. If you are interested in the subject, I put a link in the description so you can hear like a confession of an ex-farmer who talks about that. It's pretty grueling, but very interesting. On another note, there is a guy who did a study in England a few years back about McDonald's touchscreens, and he found that on every single one they tested, they found traces of fecal matter and gut bacteria. No way! And apparently our phones are even worse, so think about that before judging me. We live in a world that's absolutely disgusting, and I'm just part of it. But you can judge me anyway if you want. Please feel free to subscribe and come back next time for more disgusting cooking with Juliette. Bye!